The new no chicken and classic seasoning powder. The ingredient they take make am na natural by nature, like real chicken, rosemary, black and white pepper, garlic, onion, parsley, mushroom, coriander, and plenty more. If you knack new no seasoning powder for inside your jollof, fried rice, egusi, and all other soup, you go know say flavor pass flavor. New no seasoning powder, natural by ingredients, bangba by flavor.
Enugu's #1 choice for music and talk.
92.5 Dream FM.
That's how we do it.
The new constitution is most acceptable to me because what we have presently is a forced constitutional order, and it has shown up a plutocratic political class who do not care about the welfare of the people.
It's not the question of a brand new constitution, it is a attitudinal change of the people.
There are two sides to every story.
No, there are more than two sides.
Is it the new PDP or the old PDP?
No.
If you look at what happened,
no, you can't.
That your PDP went to court and they challenged on
A community without a common ground will eventually become a battleground.
This is Pastor Chibo phoning from local government, Enugu State.
Okay, let's go ahead.
Political voices are in my CNN here. I love it, and I love it very much. My name is Lee from Kogi State. Political voices always keeping me busy, always making me happy as I'm on strike as a student.
Political voices. One story, many angles.
Listen, I am telling you that Good morning and welcome to Political Voices on 92.5 Enugu's Dream FM. Political Voices is a session of comments, interviews and analyses of trending political stories as they affect and shape the world around you. Today is Friday. It is the 24th day of July 2020, and this morning our focus is on the personalized executive and legislative conflicts in Nigeria. We'll look at the issues and the challenges, but before we get to the discussion, we have matters arising from the political space. The candidate of the People's Democratic Party for the October 10th Ondo State governorship election, Mr. Ayitayo Jegede, on Thursday said his emergence marked the beginning of the end of the Governor Rotimi Akeredolu-led administration. Jegede won the PDP primaries on Wednesday, polling 888 votes. And of course, he defeated 7 others, including the state deputy governor, Mr. Agbola Ajayi. Moving ahead, the Ijaw Youth Council has written to the Independent National Electoral Commission demanding that a date be fixed for the by-elections to fill the vacant seats of Bayelsa Central and Bayelsa East senatorial districts. The 2 seats became vacant following the inauguration of the former occupants, Doyodiri for Bayelsa Central and Lawrence Erujakbo for Bayelsa East as governor and deputy governor of the state, respectively, on February 14th. And in the letter signed by the chairman of Ijaw Youth Council, Western Zone, Kennedy Olorogun, the Ijaw Youths expressed worry that the 6-month-long delay was changing the 2 senatorial districts in the National Assembly. Moving ahead, the House of Representatives is mulling a bill seeking to grant immunity to the Supreme Court justices, chief judges of the Federal High Court and the 36 states of the Federation and that of the Federal Capital Territory. The bill scaled through second reading at the Green Chamber on Thursday. Sponsored by Iduma Egariwe of APC Ebonyi, himself a lawyer, the proposed law seeks to alter Section 308 of the 1999 Constitution as amended by restricting legal proceedings against heads of courts in the country. Mr. Gariwe said if it becomes law, the bill will protect the integrity and independence of the Supreme Court, the federal and state high courts. The lawmaker argued that the proposed legislation will entrench the doctrine of separation of powers, thereby protecting the judiciary from the excesses of the executive arm. All right, those are some of the issues making their way into the political space, not forgetting that the House of Representatives has, of course, threatened to sue the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs. That's talking about Senator Godswill Akpabio for defaming the National Assembly on the issue of NDDC contracts, which they ordered him to publish the names of those he alleged to be involved in the contracts at the NDDC, which of course following the submission of reports by the committees investigating the NDDC, I recommended that the NDDC should move from the Niger Delta Ministry to the presidency. Those are some of the issues making their way to the political space headlines this morning. And just don't forget that we are having our usual TriCast on social media. You can watch this program on YouTube. Do well to go to our YouTube channel on Dream TV Enugu. Please subscribe, and you can watch the amazing videos out there on YouTube. Turn on notification to get amazing videos when we come on. And on Facebook, it's 925 Dream FM. And on Twitter, it is Dream925 FM. You can send us a WhatsApp message on 0902 0020 Stay with us. All right, so this morning our focus is on the personalized executive and legislative conflicts in Nigeria, issues and challenges, the stories. Of course, the issue has been coming, and it looks like it's the gift that keeps giving. We saw Ngige recently tell a House of Reps member that he's older than him and that he is a small boy, and said that if you yab me, I yab you back. Personalizing the interactions at the two arms of government, and was also the acting managing director of the NDDC walking out on House of Representatives investigative panel. And there were also other issues. The Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, of course, alleged that some of the members of the House of Representatives, in fact, matter of fact, the National Assembly, that they are beneficiaries of contracts in the NDDC. A lot of things have been personalized, and those issues will be our focus this morning as we are joined on the program by Honorable Nwabe Ezugu. He's a constitutional lawyer, human rights activist, and former lawmaker in the Enugu State House of Assembly, where he represented Nkanu West. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, sir. I also greet our listeners.
All right. Okay, and also in the studio is Dr. Dele Maxwell Ugwai. He's a social commentator and lecturer in the General Studies Division, Enugu State University of Science and Technology. Good morning to you, Dr. Ugwai.
Good morning, Alex, and I'm delighted to be with Honorable Ugu this morning. Good morning, Honorable.
All right. Yeah. Okay, I'll start by asking you, Honorable Nwabe Ezugu, are there constitutional issues around this sort of exchange or exchanges we've witnessed between the legislative and the executive arms of government? Are there constitutional issues that might have really reared its head since you have monitored what's been going on between the ministers and the lawmakers?
Honestly, your question is a double-edged sword, which I think must be wielded with caution and not hazarded lightly. First, I think that what is going on in the National Assembly, what went on between the Minister of NDDC Affairs, that is Godswill Akpabio, and the Federal House of Representatives members, as well as the one that took place between Chris Ngige, the Minister of Labor and Productivity, and the House Committee where Adeleke was. I think that most importantly, especially with regards to Akpabio, is that we are in a place where the society, I think the problem begins from the society. The society believes that it is money, it is money, it is money, and nothing but money. That's why the entire place is in a state of figgledy-piggledy. That's why the entire society is in a state of confusion. You see, there is no law, neither the Constitution nor any other existing law in this country, that says that if you are a legislator, you should wield influence as much as collecting contracts from any agency of government or indeed from the government. If you're a legislator, you are supposed to be a legislator pure and simple. And you are not supposed to move from there. In fact, I even want to say that the so-called constituency projects is not a legislative business. It should have nothing to do with government. It's an attempt by the legislature to usurp the job of the executive. You can't see anywhere in any law in this country that talks about constituency project. You can't see anywhere in the Constitution that gives the legislature the right to do any part of executive function. That is usurping the executive function of the executive arm of government. And it is illegal. It's also wrong. But the thing that makes it possible is scratch my back, I scratch your back. That's the bane of the Nigerian society. The legislature will leave their legislative duties, and in the pretense that they are doing oversight functions, they invite members of the executive, they intimidate them, yab them, tell them that everything they've done is wrong, just to enable them go back and collect contracts from those executive arms. Collect contracts, collect money that they're not supposed to take. They collect contracts and they don't even perform the contract. Pocket the money. This is the bane of Nigerian democracy. That's why we are where we are. The legislature is a part of the Nigerian problem. In fact, you remember the other day, Amnesty International said that the most corrupt institutions in Nigeria are the police, which is supposed to be fighting corruption, fighting crime. Now they are the most corrupt. The judiciary, which is also at the apex of corruption fight in any part of the world. Amnesty International is now telling you that they are also one of the most corrupt in Nigeria. In fact, one of the three. And they also mentioned the legislature. The legislature, which ought to be the first branch of government, Section 4 of the Constitution, which ought to be the engine room of democracy. And it is the legislature ought to be the people's parliament. But they've converted the legislature to what Jesus Christ said about the conversion of the house of his father into a bureau de change. It's not good for this country at all. It is a scathing comment that Godswell Akpabio made. Himself has also been battered from every part, from everywhere, as an extremely corrupt person. But you see, he made a scathing comment that most of the contracts awarded by NDDC were received by members of the legislature, members of the National Assembly. It's a scathing comment.
All right.
And most of these contracts were either were either not performed or not completely performed.
Okay.
And of course, we're overbloated. These things are not good at all. They are sad commentary.
Okay.
It's a sad commentary on the democratic ideals of any nation.
Dr. Dele Maxwell Ogwai, talk to us about the implications of these developments on governance, on the issue of providing a level playing field for people who want to enjoy, unquote, the gains of democracy?
Well, I will begin from the premise of the fact that of the three arms of government, only the legislators suffered the greatest casualty, in the sense that since 1960 to 1979, they enjoyed only 6 years, 60 to 66. Between 66 and 1979, there was nothing called legislative arm of government because it was during a military regime. Then they had a short spell between 79 and 83. Between 83 and 99, we didn't have anything called legislative. And that account for the fact that they don't seem to know their core responsibility within democratic process. Just as Honorable Nwabezegu has said, they missed a lot of things. Maybe because we have always had executive arm of government, we have always had judicial arm of government, but we have not always had legislative arm of government. Between 1999 and 2003, we knew what happened. Between 2003 and 2007, we knew what happened. They have never been stable. And the implication is this. That is the assembly of Nigerian people. Every constituency, every senatorial district, everybody cannot go to Abuja. They pick among themselves, the best among themselves, to go and represent them, to echo their voices at the National Assembly, not to go there and do otherwise. For example, what happened between Ngige and Faleke? Faleke raised issues bordering on corruption, how Ngige has managed as a supervising minister of a National Nigeria Social Insurance Trust Fund. He raised a lot of arguments, a lot of issues. And based on that, the minister was invited. Now, the minister was invited, instead of the National Assembly, the committee member, to concentrate on what brought Ngige to that chamber. Faleke asked him, very relevant question. That shows that they don't even understand what they are doing. Asking Ngige, your ministry was renewed as a result of competency or your performance or your personality in the APC, because in your local government you scored only 22,000, whereas PDP scored 72,000, and that's what Ngige retorted back, because we are past the level of, or the stage of electioneering. We are no longer into election campaign. We are no longer sourcing for votes. We are into governance. So the idea of who has won and who has lost in his local government, his senatorial, is completely immaterial at that sitting. So the idea is this: how have you managed this fund? What are the, because he is the Minister of Labor, Minister of Employment. Now, I expected Faleke to say, look, give us statistics, because this is what will help the governors, as we ask. Give us the statistics. What did the, since you have been in this ministry, what is the employment rate? How many people have, how many Nigerians have your ministry employed? What is the unemployment rate? What is the productivity rate? ASU is on strike. How far? What are on the negotiation table? But going to ask him, how many do you vote at the last election? And you are the one that raised the issue that brought Ngige to the National Assembly to come and clarify some issues. That's another angle. Number two, Ngige himself, Senator Ngige rather, wouldn't have personalized it, referring to age. What has age got to do with governance? What has age got to do? You live in Shomolu, you live in Mushin, you live in a VI. What has that got to do? Ngige should have simply said, look, Mr. Man, I'm not here to tell you what you vote. I'm not an elect man. I'm here based on the issue you raised, National Social Insurance Trust Fund. So ask me a question pertaining to my ministry. But they went overboard. And what happened is this. Nigeria is becoming a tragedy, so to say. And you know, in a tragedy, whether Shakespearean tragedy or Senecan tragedy, we have what is called comic relief. Comic relief is introduced when tension is so high. I said it last week here that these people are just giving us unnecessary distraction, week in, week, just like you say, 1 week, one trouble. Nigerian is 1 week, one joke, 1 week, one joke. They create a kind of comic relief. You know, in tragedy, comic relief is provided by court jesters. Our politicians, both the people in the executive and the people at the legislature, they are becoming court jesters, unfortunately, and they are supposed to be the one providing leadership. And what do you do in leadership? In leadership, in every society, there must be conflict. What leadership does is to manage the conflict by, identify the middle point. You shift ground, I shift ground, you shift ground. What leader will be better, whether as a president, as a governor, as a speaker of House of Assembly, House of Representatives, or as a senator? You look at the middle point. And what are you looking at the middle point? The one that be to the best interest of Nigerian people, that will advance governance. But what we have now is politicians, leadership, bringing, constituting themselves to be court jesters, providing comic relief after creating so much tension as a result of their inefficiency, as a result of their incompetence in managing Nigerian nation. Going to Akpabio, the National Assembly cannot say that they don't get a contract. Forget the empty threat of Benjamin Amila. I understand Akpabio has written them. It's a party, just as Honorable Mabeze has said. You rub my back, I rub your back. You rub my back, you rub my yabi. You know be thief, I be thief. You know be rogue, I be rogue. You be rogue, I be rogue. You be robber, I be robber. Apology to late fella Nicola Bokuti.
All right. Okay, let's just get something in perspective. Honorable Mwabezugu, analysts say that legislative and executive conflicts are not uncommon. But then one would think that there is a level to which that conflict should get to, and it affects the real movement and the will of government. Do you think we have gotten to that point in Nigeria, that this conflict is affecting governance?
Honestly, I don't even see any conflict. I don't see any conflict between the legislature and the executive. What I still see, I am certain I still see my way through. What I still see is a situation whereby when they come to the public fora, they make a little noise and pretend, make the people believe that they are quarreling. But the moment the public goes away, they will begin to drink tea and begin to banter jokes and begin to share the people's, the booty, which is the people's money. That's exactly what is going on, and that is strong for us all. Because what Akpabio said, he's not the first that is saying it, or the first that's making Nigerians see it. It's only that Nigerians have very short memory, and nothing shocks Nigerians any longer. Delegiwa said Nigerians are great shock absorbers. That's the last essay he wrote before he was murdered. And so, I don't see any disagreement. All I see is an agreement between the legislature and the executive to hoodwink the people, and do them, the more you look, the less you see. Share the money of the people, become exceedingly corrupt, and ensure that the people don't get what they were promised. Ensure that all the promises they made during the election are a pipe dream. Ensure that all the promises also made by Chapter 2 of the Constitution on fundamental objectives and directive principles of state policy, from sections 13 to section 24, that None of them is achieved. None of them is given to the people. That's the agreement I see. I honestly don't see any disagreement. And but the problem is that the people have refused to see through the facade. The people have refused to look through the lace that is covering the other side, where the legislature and the executive are in agreement. From this other side where the people are, the people ought to look through that lace, that veil, that little veil, look through it and see the exact thing that is going on. Forget what you are told and look at the fact, what is going on. That's what the Nigerian people should do, and that's what Nigerian people have refused to do. We are the architect of our own misfortune, the architect of our own downfall. That's why the country has continued to totter the way it's been going.
All right, then. I would just quickly have to ask you, Dr. Uwai, let's talk about state governments. If we relate this discussion to the state government and state legislature and how the issue of checks and balances, how that particular core function of the legislature has been conducted, do you think that we have really gotten our money's worth talking about the state legislature and the issue of checks and balances?
Well, to me, I do not necessarily think there is a robust legislature and executive relationship, what we call check and balances in at the state level, because it's almost at zero level. There's no state houses of assembly you go to now in Nigeria where we can have a robust argument, robust debate, robust conversation in their various chambers. All they do is to just stamp whatever the governor is bringing to the table. And that goes to show the issue of personalizing this thing you are saying. Because take any state, for example. I do not see any state in Nigeria where a legislator, a member of House of Assembly, will rise to oppose whatever the governor has brought to the table. He will be termed enemy of the governor. Not even, nobody will be interested in looking, just as Honorable Umabeze has said, looking at the veil. What is this man saying? Everybody is of the opinion that once you go against anything brought by the governor, whether by way of appropriation or by way of executive bill or by way of whatever, no scrutiny. There you can't tell me any state where proper scrutiny is being done in the appropriation or in the executive bill, in whatever. Just a yeah. We were here when in Imo State, a governor won a judgment at the Supreme Court. Within the next 2-3 days, all the members of House of Assembly moved to the new governor's party. And I wonder, I said it here, does it mean you cannot participate in government if you are not in the party of the governor? You can be. Democracy is a process. It's a pro and anti process. It's like you are opposing and you are supporting an opposing view. Without opposition, there can never be ruling party. Without a ruling party, there can never be opposition. And the two of them help to bring out the robust nature of democratic process. But what we have in Nigeria is people personalize a lot of things. When you go against anything, you even speak you even speak your mind, people will take it as a personal attack on the governor. So it is not helping us as a country. It's not even at the state level, at local government level. You ask yourself, even at local government level, we have councillors. How many councillors can come together and say, look, we are scrutinizing? Most of them do not even know what budget is all about. Most of them do not even know what appropriation bill, what they don't even know. Just at the end of the day, collect my salary and go. Come and sign this, come and sign this. And it trickles down, because the problem we have in Nigeria is we continue to look at the center. We continue to look at the center, neglecting what happens at the state level, neglecting what happens at local government level. And the issue is this: most states, the governor determines who becomes a honorable. The governor determines who becomes a chairman. The governor even determines who becomes a councillor. At the end, and it's supposed to be check and balances, as you have said. Now, how do you go and check someone who made you who you are, who brought you into House of Assembly? So you realize that it's a kind of a confusion. We confuse a lot of things, and that's why our democratic process has refused to fly, has refused to walk, has refused to crawl. It's still stagnant. That's why we continue to say nascent democracy, nascent democracy. I don't even see it. Are we really nascent?
All right.
When are we going to be unnascent?
Thank you so much. This is Political Voices on 92.5 Enugu's Dream FM. And this morning, our focus is on the personalized executive and legislative conflict in Nigeria. We're looking at the issues and the challenges. It's time for us to hear from you out there on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We are streaming live. You can catch the live video from the studio here, and you can enjoy what's going on and send a message on the timelines of those various accounts. Of course, on YouTube, channel is Dream TV Enugu. You can subscribe and watch the live videos. On Facebook, it's 925 Dream FM, and on Twitter, it's Dream 925 FM. On Facebook, Nabo Paul Obinna says, I think what has ensued between some members of the executive and legislative arms of the Nigerian government is what I call legislative cum executive rascalism. Well, you have to really use some calm words there. And as long as divergences puffs up amongst them, the avaricious idiosyncratic dispositions of these purported leaders will continue to be brought to the fore for all to see. And Nnamdi Buvaist says Nigeria is a failed nation. Imagine the open impunity going on these days in broad daylight. We really do lack honorable, educated, and enlightened leaders. It is Nigeria, that is in Nigeria you find a person who says his profession is being a politician. All right, then. Chukwemeka Jonathan says things are getting worse by the day and there is no hope in sight. Nat Nwoko says the legislature is using their oversight function to intimidate the executive, thereby forcing them to do their biddings, resulting to criminal patronage. And Cyprian Nicodemus Mbwebu says that his take on the topic is that Nigeria is a country where the executive gives order to legislative arm of government, and this is because the rule of law and checks and balances are in shambles. And I strongly agree with what one of your resource persons said, that what the cabal do in public is not fighting of words or whatever, but in a way to scare people away so they can go away with our money. All right, those are thoughts on Facebook, and you can talk to us on the phone 090200202925 or 0809 888 080200202925 or 0809 888 Hello, good morning.
Hello, Alex. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Good morning to the guests in the studio.
Morning, sir.
Wow, I think we lost him. All right, call us back if you can. Hello, good morning. All right, call us back. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
What's your name and location?
From Edo State.
Your name?
Paul Odije.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir. What people are discussing, I'm hearing, the way they are ruling this country is so bad. Look at the minister that was discussing that day with the National Assembly.
There's a lot of noise from your background. Your radio is too high. I don't know why.
Okay, let me call back.
All right, wonderful. And you can call us on 0809 888 0809 888 Hello, good morning.
Hello.
What's your name and location?
My name is John. I'm calling from Enugu.
Oh boy, you're bringing down our tempo.
Huh?
You want to bring down the fire. Can you be lively? This is Political Voices.
Okay, no problem.
What Barrister Ugu is saying is true. You understand? The legislature and the executive, they are not fighting. They are just pretending, deceiving us, so that we can believe that they are fighting. They are doing the job. Rather, they are eating the money, sharing the money between themselves. I can remember when they were telling us that Hope and the other man, they are fighting. And we saw them in Abuja, sometimes shaking hands, smiling. So it's not it's not what we want in this Nigeria. You understand? Because they are deceiving us every time. You understand? So we have to wake up with the masses. We have to wake up.
All right.
And know what we want.
Okay then. Thank you for your thoughts on the program. And you can call us on the number 0809888895. All right. Let's see if we can take some more calls. Hello. Good morning. All right. I think we're having a few issues with the lines, and let's look at our WhatsApp message. This one is from Abu Henry Chuku. He's sending this WhatsApp message from Renaissance University, Uboka. And he says, I must commend your analyst in the studio. Executive and legislative conflicts in Nigeria is a mere joke because nothing meaningful comes out of it. Nigeria has landslided into a banana republic where everything is handled with kid gloves. All our leaders across board see a call for accountability and scrutiny as a call of witch hunting. It is important to state at this point that until both the executive and legislative arms holistically decide to adopt the sincerity of purpose, the Nigerian state will know no peace. All right, let's take some more calls now. Keep those messages coming. Hello. Hello, good morning. All right, talk to us. 090200200925. Hello, good morning.
Mr. Alex, good morning.
Good morning to you. What's your name and location?
My name is Linus, and I'm calling you from Ekiti.
You're welcome.
Honorable Ugu, very special morning to you. My brother Ugu, good morning. You see, Alex said, the double-tacker politics between the executive and the legislative is a pretense and a complicity against the Nigerian public. Greed and corruption is beginning to kill this country entirely. And it's causing us monumental economic damage, both locally and internationally. How can anybody sit down and listen to this executive and legislature? We know what Akpabio was accused in his state as a former governor. And he dropped it in APC because he need to take coverage. He now go to the NGDC. What difference can we see with him? And the problem with this country is that our judiciary is succumbing to the situation of ground. The common man is no longer finding it easy to live. And my brother, you see, Arab Spring is not far from Nigeria if they continue like this. It's not far from this country. It's a prophecy. Our leaders should take this prophecy. That is just it. Thank you very much, Alex, this morning.
Thank you so much for your call. And I think we'll take a few more messages if we have them. Okay, we'll have a message on YouTube. I said YouTube. All right, we are on YouTube too. On WhatsApp. Good morning, gentlemen in the house. Jafet is texting us from Asaba on WhatsApp. He said the conflict between executive and legislative arms of government urgently need to be addressed because under separation of powers there is clearly separation between the powers of the executive and legislative arms of government. Checks and balances, and in bracket he said watchdogs. Okay, let's take some more calls. 0809-8888-925. Okay, it keeps bouncing off. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Alex.
What's your name and location?
It's Chidi. I'm calling from Oka.
You're welcome.
Yeah. I thank the analyst. I don't know his name, but understand that these people they are not quarreling. They are actors. They are acting out a well-written script to calm the audience, calm the vulnerable Nigerians, while they do the real game behind the scenes. So what I'm saying is, like I said some time ago, enough of analysis of problems in this country, enough of complaining. We already know what they are doing. It's not about discussing it alone, but what are actions we should be taking. I suggest that we meet people of influence that are not in politics, see how they can synergize their power and influence and get things done. It's not enough for people to be in religious circle, entertainment circle, with their influence and other circles in business.
Okay.
They are just complaining and
yes.
they are not joining together to solve this problem.
Yes, we'll need to
together. We are just talking.
Good. We need to accommodate other people. On Facebook, 925 Dream FM, Maxwell Evaristus Ekene says, "Good morning, Alex. My take this morning is that despite the National Assembly being a rubber stamp of the executive arm, there are still some people in the chamber who still believe in the due process. The legislature has belittled itself to become the servant of the executive, which ought not to be." And Odigo Kogadi, that's your name on Facebook. He said, "I think the British should come and rule us so that the system will be reset, because those political leaders are not ready to change, neither are they ready to change the nation. Ever since Nigeria got her independence, no improvement. It is even getting worse by the day, so they need to come and help us this time." I don't know what to think about this call, but I'm sure my analysts in the studio might have a thought or two about it. I think we'll come back to the studio and have a conversation about some of the issues raised. Honorable Mwabezugu, you've heard some of the issues raised, and it does appear that there seems to be a popular opinion about people not being happy about what they are seeing. But the analysis, part of the analysis you gave is that that those that are being watched are actually acting. So how much of their acting is hurting the nation, and how do we get out of this situation?
Their acting, of course, is seriously hurting the nation. Like I did say, Akpabio, for one, is a man who has been bantered from everywhere. In fact, battered from everywhere. Punched from even the NDDC, from even his home state, that the man is exceedingly corrupt. Now, I think that the man, Akpabio, came to the House of Representatives with that mindset that the members of the House of Representatives were already charged, waiting to tear him to shreds because of all the things that were said by a director of NDDC, the lady.
A former director.
Yeah, okay.
MD.
A former managing director.
Former managing director.
Joy Nune.
Yes, Joy Nune, yes. So because of all that she said, the members of the House of Reps were waiting for him to tear him to pieces. And so he decided to just pack them in one corner, to let them know that they are equally corrupt. Because Akpabio was coming with the mindset that these people were going to tell him that he was exceedingly corrupt. Even if they don't say it expressly, by all the questions they were going to ask, that he was going to be presented to the entire world.
Yes, but isn't
as an exceedingly dirty man.
Isn't it the duty of the court to make the pronouncement on who's guilty or not?
Who is corrupt?
I mean, you being a lawyer will understand that, especially when you say this.
Now. No, we are not getting to court yet.
Yes, but of course,
you may by questions.
It's a panel.
You may by questions present a man as a very dirty and a very corrupt person. You are not going to say you are corrupt, but by your questions and by all the things that has taken place, it will be very clear that this man is very corrupt. And you are presenting him to the entire world.
But that doesn't necessarily make him a corrupt person because he hasn't been proven.
That's exactly what I'm saying. I've not said that he has been adjudged by any court of law. as a corrupt
I just
person.
wanted us to make that point.
Yeah, no,
This is a radio station.
Of course, my words are very clear. Now, but the point is that since these people are going to let the world know that I'm a corrupt person, let me now go and also tell them that they are corrupt, so that they will no longer, whatever they want to say, they will not swallow it. They won't even say it out again. That was exactly what Akpabio did in the House of Representatives. That's why I said that the man was acting. You see, but the point is that at the end of the day, whose money is being spent, whose money is being unnecessarily misappropriated, it is the money of the state, the money of the people of this country. So it is a money that they are sharing. It is time for us now to say, no, we will no longer allow you to continue to eat our money without cause. But you see, the point is that Nigerian people are sleeping. The last man whose message you read from YouTube, Ogadigo Kogadi. Odigo Kogadi. Yeah, the man said that he made allusion to the fact that he appeared to be convinced that the British should come back and recolonize us. He's not the first person that's saying it. A lot of persons have said it. Even somebody has said it on this forum, Professor, I think Oluka also, has also made that point.
But is recolonization an option?
Very, 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 very blunt, that Nigerians got their independence exceedingly early. Too early.
But some people got it and they are living well, they are progressing, they are developing.
So a lot of persons also agree with what the Ogadigo called with what he said, that Nigerians got independence too early. That if the British had stayed about 30 more years, that Nigeria probably would have been left better sane than we are today.
Okay, let's get the thoughts of Dr. Dele Maxwell Ogwai. Now that this issue of, because we are looking at the solutions, so what could solve the problem? Someone is saying that Nigeria needs to be recolonized. Do you think that recolonizing Nigeria and Nigerians will change their attitude towards government and issues of governance?
Well, before I start that question, just a 30-second point. You know, Akpabio actually succeeded with his mindset, because now the National Assembly, the House of Representatives, they are no longer talking about the issue of Niger Delta. What Akpabio has succeeded in driving them to the wall. What they are doing now to defend themselves, publish the name, do this, do this. Nobody is interested again in the sleazes that have gone in Niger Delta development. They now call it Niger Delta Development Criminals. I'm sorry to say that. No.
But that's not what it is. It is Niger Delta Development Commission.
No, that's what I said. Some people have alluded that Niger Delta
no, it's because we're on radio, so that children will not go and start that Development Commission.
What happens? NDDC. But now, nobody is talking about the issue in Niger Delta again. What has preoccupied the minds of National Assembly, especially the House of Representatives, is the fact that they want to see how they can extricate themselves out of the allegation of Akpabio. So, and that one has died a natural, just the way no one is interested in Mangu issue, nobody is interested in Ponde, the fainting professor, nobody is interested in any other person. Now, he went to National Assembly. The issue that took him to National Assembly is no longer, it no longer interests people. Now, what interests people is you abuse Tinubu, you didn't abuse Tinubu. Just these are the things that preoccupy our mind. Instead of addressing the real issue, they will now address inanities, frivolous things, things that do not have direct impact on our life. We help these people fight their war while leaving our own war on fight. I mean, just like that, on fault.
All right.
Now, coming to colonization or relocalization, colonization, we now have, forget the fact that are we not under colonization? The issue is this: we are now black. We have now, it's now what we call the stage of blackinization of colonialism. Instead of white people colonizing Africans or Nigerians. Nigerians are now colonizing Nigerians. So it's not about recolonization by who. Who recolonizes who? If British have gone, their own stage have gone. Now we need to say, who do we ask to recolonize us? Is it asking the British to come? Are they UK now? Are they even okay there? Things have changed. And some country, Malaysia got independent around the same area with us. So many countries. Japan was literally grounded as at 1945. Singapore began 1965. And so many countries, even Germany, was defeated comprehensively in 1945. Where are they today? So it's not about colonization by the British, but we have redefined the colonialism even in our states.
Okay.
Even in our local government, some people have some people, local leaders, state leaders, they've constituted themselves together to colonize the rest people. These are the people we should seek our liberty from.
I just want us to tie it together in less than 2 minutes. Well, I'll give 1 minute apart. Honorable Nwabezugu, what is the implications of all these things we see in the polity on the fight against corruption?
The implication of all this is to let the people of this country realize that the fight against corruption has not started, because the entire government is which we brought in to handle the affairs of state for us. They are honestly, to be very, very mild, they are the people that doing everything to invite corruption. I don't know. I don't want to sound alarmist or to say things that are not palatable on air.
But where Nigeria is headed, believe you me, in the next 10, 20 years, we may not have a country called Nigeria. There was a joke on social media. This ordinary NDDC, the House of Rep member was saying, it's okay, switch off your microphone. That by the time you move to NNPC, CBN and all, it will be, please switch off Nigeria. And that's where we are headed to.
All right, then. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Dr. Maxwell Ugwai is a social commentator and lecturer in the General Studies Division, Enugu State University of Science and Technology. Thank you for your thoughts on the program. And Honorable Nwabezugu, constitutional lawyer, human rights activist, and former lawmaker, Enugu State House of Assembly, where he represented Nkanu West. Thank you for your insights on the program.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you, our listeners.
And of course, thanks to my production assistant, Lotana Okereke, and my producer, Okeodogu. Political Voices adjourns till Monday, same time. My name is Alex Obodo. Stay tuned for the Dream FM News at 10.